Romney, that person will have an advantage.
They will have an advantage. And if Newt is able tonight to really begin that coalescing around him, conservatives feel after the performance in this last debate that this guy's ready to go toe-to-toe in November. You can see this thing break as you go out of South Carolina into Florida and other states. You got a bunch of caucuses coming up that's going to play well, very much obviously for Ron Paul, but Newt's going to be able to play there effectively as well.
If that's him.
That's him, yeah.
If that's him. So again, the question, if it does become a two-person debate at some point.
Absolutely.
Will there be enough money?
Tonight.
I've always thought, as I said a half hour ago or so, or almost a half hour ago, it seems, that Newt Gingrich controls the stage, but Romney controls the rest. But if Newt Gingrich proves tonight he can control not the stage, but not just the stage, but win here, does he get the money to equal Romney?
I think he does, and I think he begins to grab a little bit of the rest. I think, and it starts with the money. Conservatives around the country will take a look at this race tonight, and they will respond on Sunday morning with going to his website and writing a check. And I think that's what Newt is counting on. And coming out of here strong with a 4 or 5 point edge over Romney puts him in the position over the next 10 days to go into Florida and have some fun.
Is Florida still what we call the big decider here?
Well, you know, that's a good question. And the reality of it is, with the rule change that we put in place in 2010, technically they shouldn't be, because they broke the rules. They jumped the line. So their delegates should be proportional. And if they are, that changes their winner state all status.
Well, 2 points you made. 70% still matters, and Romney's on the wrong side of that, too. The money will go to the person who gets the 70% against Romney.
Absolutely.
Exciting stuff. And here we are again. This debate Monday night is going to be great with Brian Williams. Thank you, Rachel. Back to you.
Appreciate it, Chris. And there was some controversy over whether or not Mitt Romney was going to be participating in that debate in Florida. His campaign making some noises in the last few days that maybe he was feeling a little wobbly about participating in that. Mitt Romney telling reporters today unequivocally that he will be there. Not only is the debate on, but Mitt Romney will be there. And boy, depending on what happens tonight, it might be the most important debate yet. We're going to get back to our panel here in New York in a moment. Plus, we'll hear from supporters both of Newt Gingrich and Mitt Romney. MSNBC's coverage of the South Carolina primary continues in just a moment.
If no one ever challenged the status quo, the Earth would still be flat. Rock would have no role. For decades, Infiniti has challenged what a luxury car should be. We built the world's first high-performance hybrid to achieve 32 mpg, the first around-view monitor. We believe a luxury car should connect you to the road. It should move you emotionally and inspire. Infiniti, inspired performance.
I had enough of feeling embarrassed about my skin.
Enough of just covering up my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis.
I decided enough is enough.
I started Enbrel. It's clinically proven to provide clearer skin.
Enbrel may not work for everyone and may not clear you completely, but for many it gets skin clear fast, within 2 months, and keeps it clear up to 9 months.
Because Enbrel suppresses your immune system, it may lower your ability to fight infections. Serious, sometimes fatal events, including infections, tuberculosis, lymphoma, other cancers, and nervous system and blood disorders have occurred. Before starting Enbrel, your doctor should test you for tuberculosis and discuss whether you've been to a region where certain fungal infections are common. Don't start Enbrel if you have an infection like the flu. Tell your doctor if you're prone to infections, have cuts or sores, have had hepatitis B, have been treated for heart failure, or if while on Enbrel, you experience persistent fever, bruising, bleeding, or paleness.
If you've had enough, ask your dermatologist about Enbrel.
Once you're in the Bahamas, the rest of the world just fades away. Get up to $400 instant savings on airfare when you book any qualifying vacation to the islands of the Bahamas. Visit Bahamas.com or call 1-800-BAHAMAS today for more information.
My name is Jane, and I've got osteoporosis, but I'm an on-the-go woman. I've been active all my life. That's why I'm excited about Reclast. It's the once-a-year IV osteoporosis treatment.
Reclast helps to re-strengthen my bones to help make them resistant to fracture. And with Reclast, well, no other osteoporosis treatment is approved to help protect in more places. Hips, spine, even other bones.
You should not take Reclast if you're on Zometa, have low blood calcium or kidney problems, or you're pregnant, plan to become pregnant, or are nursing. Take calcium and vitamin D daily. Tell your doctor if you develop severe muscle, bone, or joint pain. If you have dental problems, as jawbone problems have been reported, or if you develop new or unusual pain in your hip, groin, or thigh. The most common side effects include flu-like symptoms, fever, muscle or joint pain, headache, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. If you have questions about your current treatment, ask your doctor about Reclast.
We have a long process ahead of us, 1,150 delegates to get. I sure would like to win South Carolina, but I know that if those polls were right, regardless of who gets the final number, we're both going to get a lot of delegates. So I want as many delegates as I can get. I want the most delegates coming out of South Carolina. But I don't know what the numbers will be. I'm pretty confident, cautiously optimistic.
Sounding anything but confident. Mitt Romney there trying to lower expectations for the South Carolina results tonight. Let me put something to you guys that Michael Steele just said. Michael Steele just said if Newt Gingrich does very well tonight, he described that as 4 or 5 points over Mitt Romney, that conservatives around the country will look at the Newt Gingrich candidacy as a viable candidacy. They will open checkbooks, swivel wrist. They will send him money. He will start getting establishment conservative support.
He's going to need it because it's a much different media market down in Florida. Florida and South Carolina are a lot alike when it comes to the housing market, when it comes to unemployment, when it comes to median income, but it's also very different. The Latino vote, the cultural diversity in Florida is much different than it is in South Carolina. Yeah, you can go to Florida and find a lot of conservatives, but you're going to find 19 million people versus a much lower total of people in South Carolina.
Spread over a lot of area that you can't reach.
Florida, Newt Gingrich may do well tonight, but Florida's Division I. I mean, and earlier today, you heard Mr. Pawlenty on this network talk about its infrastructure, it's the long haul, and that's what Romney has been counting on all along. So if he's going to raise money, he's going to have to do it fast.
What do you think about that?
Well, Florida is less evangelical. It's older in population. Both of those things are very good for Mitt Romney. Here's another thing that's good for Mitt Romney. By Monday, a very sizable percentage of the electorate in Florida will have already voted. And they will have already voted before Mitt Romney began a collapse in South Carolina, before he began a collapse in the national polls, if the director of the Gallup polling is to be believed, and I suspect he is. So that makes it difficult, I think, for Newt Gingrich structurally as you look ahead to Florida. But it will become an important state, and as you look at the money, Rachel, out over the next week, you don't need to have the most money to win. You need to have enough money to win. And I think there's no question that if he wins tonight, Newt Gingrich is going to have enough money to compete all the way through these Super Tuesday states.
And, you know, today is, I should say, happy birthday to Citizens United. Citizens United turns 2 today. And that means that not only are we talking about money he can raise from individual people donating to his campaign, but his eccentric billionaire or some other eccentric billionaire who wants to come on and support him can donate a multi-million-dollar chunk of change to his super PAC, as happened in South Carolina, and let him even up the negative ads with Mitt Romney. So the money can be on tap, both from humans and from billionaires, if these guys want it. Does that make structure less important, campaign structure?
Well, I think the big number to stare at is 2 in what Tamron was just talking about. The 53% in South Carolina who decided just in the last few days. Yeah. You get a pretty good feel about which way they're deciding after that Gingrich win in the debate. And then the 45% who say electability is the most important issue. That's the issue tonight. The issue tonight, I think, for Gingrich is, does his number in whatever he scores here, how much harm does it do to Romney's inevitability as the leader on electability? Yeah. Romney always comes out as the top in the electability question among Republicans. Can that be changed in any way? And if that changes, Steve, that's what makes me wonder, more than anything else, what the possible Gingrich momentum can be going forward, because that's the thing you've got to shake on Romney, is the electability, and that's the thing you have to convince people about Gingrich.
But I think if he loses tonight, Romney, he loses some of that. Because if I'm Gingrich, I go in the debate Monday, and I've been on that stage, and say, You lost Iowa after you said you did. You lost in South Carolina. What makes you inevitable? You couldn't beat Rick Santorum. And if he starts chipping away at that, I think that Willard has a real problem. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for Gingrich, but I think he'll rough it up. And I'm also curious, Steve, what do you think Willard went to see at the movies today? He could have gotten, his hotel would have brought a DVD of Wall Street to his room.
Actually, what he did today, Brett, was he did his laundry today. In fact, it was put out.
I did laundry and the movies. He had plenty of time. He only had 2 events.
They would have brought
He
Wall
was
Street
way more
to his
productive
room.
than I was today, I'll tell you that.
When you're in this situation in a primary tonight, when you've fallen apart like this, they're just counting down the hours till the plane takes off and lands in Florida and get out of the state, never to return.
He's just sitting there going, Florida, Florida, Florida.
Oh, you saying you won't be the nominee when you say never to return?
No, never return to South Carolina. No.
Yeah, we'll see how he does tonight, but he did 15% there in 2008, so you had to think it wasn't his favorite place in the world heading into tonight. But coming up in the next half hour, we are going to be hearing from a key Romney supporter in South Carolina to get it straight from the horse's mouth. Plus, how the super PACs are really helping Newt Gingrich this time around. Polls will be closed in South Carolina at the top of the hour. MSNBC's coverage of the South Carolina primary continues in just a minute.
What we're seeing is bullies, political bullies who want it their way or the highway, standing up to the president. And who's feeling the hurt? The middle class and the working poor. The haves and the have-mores, they're getting off scot-free. In fact, they're making the case that they're actually paying too much. If we're going to get this country back to work again, it's going to take shared sacrifice. Those who have had all the breaks over the last 10 years are going to have to give a little bit more. And those who have not had the breaks are going to have to be given the opportunity to do more.
So, this is delicious.
Okay.
Is this where we're at now? Just eat whatever tastes good? Like these sweet honey clusters?
Actually, there's a half a day's worth of fiber in every.
Why stop at cereal? Bring on the pork chops and the hot fudge. Fantastic.
Are you done, sweetie?
Yeah.
Fiber beyond recognition. Fiber One.
Hey, I love your cereal there. It's got that sweet honey taste, but no way it's 80 calories, right? No way.
Lady, I just drive the truck.
Right? There's no way, right?
Have a nice day.
80 delicious calories. Fiber One.
One woman. One powerful savings tool. One chance to hunt down the right insurance at the right price. The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive. Ready, aim, save.
Forgot my phone.
The Name Your Price tool, now available on your phone. Get a free quote today.
COPD makes it hard to breathe, so I wasn't playing much of a role in my own life. But with Advair, I'm breathing better. So now I can take the lead on a science adventure.
Advair is clinically proven to help significantly improve lung function. Unlike most COPD medications, Advair contains both an anti-inflammatory and a long-acting bronchodilator working together to help improve your lung function all day. Advair won't replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be used more than twice a day. People with COPD taking Advair may have a higher chance of pneumonia. Advair may increase your risk of osteoporosis and some eye problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking Advair.
If you're still having difficulty breathing, take the lead. Ask your doctor if including Advair could help improve your lung function.
Get your first full prescription free and save on refills at advaircopd.com.
When CSX moves forward, so do the rest of us.
Is zero worth nothing? Imagine zero pollutants in our environment, or zero dependency on foreign oil. This is why we at Nissan built a car inspired by zero, because zero is worth everything. The zero gas, 100% electric Nissan Leaf. Innovation for the planet. Innovation for all.
Welcome back to MSNBC's live coverage of the South Carolina primary. I'm Rachel Maddow here at our headquarters in New York City. Polls are going to be closing in South Carolina at the top of the hour. Thank you, early closing time. We will have our first characterization of the race at that time. That's just about 20 minutes from now. Right now, let's go back to Tampa, the site of the NBC debate on Monday, and Chris Matthews. Chris?
Thanks, Rach. I'm here with Howard Fineman, and Howard's been covering this race like a bandit. Look, we just had Michael Steele sitting in that chair saying if there is a big victory tonight, for example, by one of the challengers to Romney, Newt Gingrich, then he, as the more conservative candidate in the way he's positioned himself, the more angry candidate, will be able to go out to the country and raise enough money to challenge Romney down the road.